Is this not women fighting for equality, dreaming their lunch? So why do you need and give you a seat? You should have been there on time like a man. Or do we get to nitpick and choose when men are supposed to respect us or nitpick our equality? Is it not weird that she's randomly recording strangers on the subway? Because if a man were to do this, he'd be looked at as a creep or a pedo. And the reality is, taught men that there's no good answer. And what I mean by that is if this man gets up and gives you a seat at any point and looks in your direction maybe the wrong way, he's considered a creep. If he gets up and maybe his arm sweeps against your leg, he can be looking at harassment charges. If he stands there while you sit down and says, hello, how is your day? Then guess what? He could be exploited as internet content and be the next creep or the next men or trash content. And does he want to risk that? If he happens to be getting off at the same stop as you, then guess what? You could accuse him of following you. And that might be even worse for him. And because men can't distinguish the false allegation girlies versus the normal girlies that still want respect, guess what? They treat us all the same. So thank you for that. Okay, bye.
Men who are struggling will often take that pain and that hurt, and 99% of the time they're going to turn that inwards. And it can come in various forms of whether that means they're working out too much, drinking too much, working too much, and then they'll find themselves self-isolating because this is what they would rather destroy themselves than be a burden on someone else or to hurt someone else. Believe me when I tell you that none of these men want to keep these behaviors, but because they may not have the resources or most likely the necessary skill set at that time, or they just haven't, as men, we just haven't figured how to step out of it yet. You guys, we just feel stuck. And because we feel stuck, then we feel ashamed. Because as men, we feel like as a man, we're supposed to have all of the answers. Or ultimately, as guys, we look at ourselves like we're a failure. So if you're a brother like this who is struggling and you can relate to this, make sure that you are creating a space that says it is okay for you to not have all the answers. And once you can embrace that it's okay, watch how your life is going to change when you stop caring about that.
Okay, so dating in your 30s is an adventure. I think we can all agree that the apps are the absolute trenches. They are a cesspool, complete cesspool. I feel like I am picking up the scraps. I'm scrounging around. I am sifting through the sand, trying to find a glimmer of hope within. It's like I'm at an Easter egg hunt and everybody is frantically, desperately trying to pick up the last of the eggs. Maybe there aren't any eggs. Maybe there aren't any left. Maybe we're looking for nothing. Anyway, I want to know how people like in your 30s and beyond, how are y'all meeting people in the wild? Because like we're adults, I have a child, I work, like I live in a rural area. I don't go out, and the apps are the trenches. So how are we meeting in the wild? Because like occasionally I might see somebody in the wild who I think is good looking, right? And it's like, okay, first of all, he's probably married with 3 kids. He's probably happily married with 3 kids, or at the very least has a girlfriend. Also, how weird is it to just go up to a complete stranger who's probably married, probably has a wife way hotter and cooler than me, and just be like, hey, you're really good looking. Are you single? Like, that's weird to do that, like in the deli section at Walmart. You know what I mean? So I just want to know, how are we meeting people? So if anybody has any tips, let me know. Let me know, because it feels pretty hopeless out here. It feels pretty hopeless out here.
Too many people jump out the window based on how they feel instead of what's actually being reciprocated. Right? Like, fact is, certain people, man, they just have charisma. They just have an aura. They just have a grip on you in one way or another. And because they do, it'll cause you to look past things that you should be paying very, very close attention to. Because of that, we'll start getting delusional in terms of what they're actually providing us in this, whatever this is, this situationship, situation, relationship, whatever this is. But fact is that you never demanded that they reciprocate the energy you gave. You allowed them to skate by, giving bare minimum on all fronts. And instead of that causing you to be like, hold on, let me take a step back, you went harder to try to prove yourself and to try to get that type of reciprocation out of them that they were never willing to give to begin with. We got to move based on reality instead of what we feel. And a lot of times those two things do not align.
Listen, no one glows up more than a man who finally walks away from what was breaking him. I'm talking about the man who escaped that really toxic cycle, the manipulation, the emotional chaos, and that constant feeling like he had to armor up just for someone to love him. You see, that glow hits different. It's not just physical. Yeah, he might hit the gym, start dressing up, and he might even level up financially, but the real glow, it's in his peace. It's the first night that he actually sleeps without anxiety sitting on his chest. Is waking up without checking his phone in fear. Is eating his breakfast without preparing for emotional warfare before the day even starts. Listen, that type of man, when he stops fighting battles for love, everything shifts. He becomes calmer, clearer, more focused, more disciplined. Because when a man chooses himself, when he protects his mind, and when he protects his purpose, he doesn't just heal, he transforms. And trust me, there's nothing more powerful than a man who has found peace after surviving what tried to break him.
How you doing, sweetheart? I've been thinking about you all day.
Okay, and you know what I've been thinking about? As a matter of fact, since I have you here, I got something to say. I am sick and tired of you always thinking about me. Like, I stumbled across the scripture, Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, and it reads, "And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone." And so why is it that you seem to be treating me like an item in your shopping cart? As if you don't understand, man of God, that he who finds a wife finds a great thing. And so I just gotta know at this point, I ain't got time to waste. Are you gonna stop chasing after these women and liking everybody's Instagram post and trying to see where's the perfect girl? Or is you just gonna come get your woman out here messing around? You know what? I ain't got time. Bye.
Guys, is anyone else's husband or boyfriend?
Center Delta 9252, holding short 10 left, ready for departure.
Was your flight level 37 there? 1312, Miami Center, squawk 60.
Mocking your husband for a hobby that they enjoy behind closed doors is rude. Posting it online so that others can mock him and make him the butt of the joke is the opposite of love, and it's actually very disrespectful. It should never have a place in your relationship. Your husband should have different hobbies that you don't understand because you're two different people, but you should support him in it because you like seeing him happy. If that's not the case, then you got way bigger problems, and I feel bad for your man. He definitely deserves better.
Is it just me, or is dating in your 30s starting to feel like a job interview? And I'm not trying to be negative, because obviously we got to get in the field, we got to date fast. But why does it have to feel like a job interview? What do you do for a living? Do you want more kids? When was your last relationship? Like, when did it stop being fun? Like, can I laugh first? Can I laugh first before you ask me 21 questions? Like, don't get me wrong. If you dating with intention, you date with a purpose, you do got to get to the point. But babe, I don't want to feel like I'm speed dating or I'm in a job interview. Does anybody else feel like this dating in their 30s? And let me add the fact that I'm in Atlanta to the layers. It just makes it even worse. Dating is a lot. It's a lot. I just want to laugh. I just want to meet my person, and we ask the main questions that we need to know, and then we go on about our lives. That's all I want. That's it.
A woman whose only concern is how much you make, how much you can give her, and just money, just revolved around money, and not asking you, what are your values, what are your traits, what are your characteristics? If that is something that doesn't concern her and it's only just money, stay away. Stay away. She's broke. She's broke, not only financially, but she's broke emotionally. She's just gonna keep taking and taking and taking and taking until you can't take it anymore. Okay, you're wasting your time. She's not the one that you're supposed to settle with. All right, she's concerned about money. And once you lose, if you ever lose that money, she is gone. Just like that. Just like that. Stay away, my guy.
It's exhausting. I'm going on friends. I want fireworks. Am I looking for like a unicorn in a field of donkeys? I'm just picking up friends at this point, and I say this, I haven't dated since November, bar one. It was nice, it was fine, we had a nice time, but just I want sparks, I want fireworks, I want to sweep me off my feet. Am I just barking up the wrong tree? Is that not a thing? Is that just reserved for books and films? I don't know, but I want that. I don't want any more friends.
Based on what AC was saying, I think that's what a lot of men are learning is you jump out there and you put a lot of effort forth, and a lot of these modern women, they don't respect it. They might like it, but they don't really want it. And you have to be okay with them not wanting it, and you just go your own way. You know what? Instead of me spending all this money trying, and that's what a lot of men are thinking. Because a lot of women will say, especially modern women, they'll say, well, you quit too early. You gave it too early. Why'd you stop? Why'd you quit trying? Because I don't see anything. I've already spent $100. I've already spent a lot of time trying to see if you were interested, and it doesn't look like you're interested. From the jump, honestly and truly, modern women need to start showing that they are interested. But it seems like when a guy that I really, really, really want this guy, and so I'm doing everything that I can possibly do. But a lot of times for modern women, it's the wrong guy. But a guy, they're like, okay, I guess he's okay. I don't really feel butterflies and a spark. I mean, do you really trust? Can you really trust that spark that you're feeling? Because you felt that spark with Chad and Tyrone, and they didn't do you any good. So is that something that you really want to pursue? Make the smart decision.
Number 2, you can expect her to ruin or try to ruin a good thing. And she does this through testing you. When I tell you she does this through testing you, until you date a woman for a longer term basis, meaning 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year, 2 years. Okay, when I say expect her to try to ruin a good thing, that means you can have all of the best things going for you. You can be 6'10". You can have a private jet, you can have a private yacht, you can whatever. You can be the best guy on paper, whatever the case may be. And statistically speaking, her replacing you is virtually impossible. When I say you can expect her to ruin or try to ruin a good thing through testing you, there's going to be some days where she just wakes up and she says, you know what, I'm going to not text message him for 48 hours just to see what he does, to see if this will piss him off. She's going to wake up and she's going to say, you know what, I'm in a bad mood. How can I make sure that he's in a bad mood too? I'm going to start an argument to see what this does to our relationship. There's going to be some days where she wakes up and she says, you know, I was talking to my friend, and my friend thinks that this other guy who we watch on reality TV is really hot, and I noticed my current guy that I'm with isn't really like that. So I'm going to lay next to him when I'm in bed on social media and scroll through this guy's posts and his feed just to see if it pisses off my boyfriend. These are the things that you're going to naturally see.
He's 5'7", the love of your life. He's 5'7". That may be a little disappointing, but this is me telling you that the man who you say you're looking for, the one who is funny and charming and sexy and breathtakingly competent, is 5'7", statistically. For all you know, he may even be 5'6". The man who will be a wonderful father and incredible life partner, the one who will know just by looking at you that it's time to leave the party and go home and put on pajama pants and become one with the sofa, is 5'7". The one whose eyes you'll be so glad your children got, and who you will not even be able to imagine your life without, is 5'7". The one about whom even the idea of living one day in a world without him is so heartbreaking that sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and touch his back just to make sure he's still breathing. It's 5'7". Now, think about that there's some sliding doors universe in which you arbitrarily click a box that makes it so you never even meet your husband. In fact, you never even see his face because of one momentary decision based entirely upon your ability to wear uncomfortable shoes. These aren't even shoes you wear a lot. You're going to pass up all of that for a pair of shoes that you could wear anyway? That's so stupid. Don't do that. Don't deny yourself the absolute wonderful moment where your husband tenderly brushes the hair away from your face, kisses your lips, and looks into your eyes and says, honey, I'm 5'8". Follow me for more of whatever this is.
It really is okay to build with a man your age. My husband is an attorney now. When I met him, he had just started law school. When he met me, I was working 2 jobs with 1 degree. Now I work 0 jobs and I'm working on degree number 3. We bought a house together. We have 1 baby. And we love the life we've built together.
I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with building together when you two are in a similar situation, when that woman is willing, and when that man isn't expecting that woman to actually build him up. Because when some men say they want to build together, what they really mean, build me into her dream man. Use your resources, your education, your finances, your credit. Use all that you have to help me get to your level. That's when I have an issue. But 2 people who are in a similar situation building together, that actually does make sense. We're talking about 2 people who meet in college. Y'all just graduated college. Y'all work at the same job. Y'all are both living home with your parents. Like, situations that are very similar, yes, that's different than a man thinking he's gonna skip steps by partnering with you. Instead of living with his parents, now he wants to move and bring his trash bag full of clothes into your high rise. No, sir.
Fuck him, freedom, leave him alone. Stop playing stupid when your man wants a divorce and
I don't know why I'm the victim. It must be another woman.
you ain't fooling nobody. I'm a chick too. I was been scrolling through TikTok last night and I can hear a woman. And I hear, we've been together for 30 years. We're a week from moving into our retirement house that we built. Everything's paid off. Like, he hit me with, I want a divorce. I'm in shock. I've never been in shock. I beg, I plead, I screamed, I cried, and he wants nothing to do with me. Can you imagine if you built this whole ass life together, everything's paid off, you're retired, you built your dream house and he wants to leave you. I can tell you right now what she did. I want this, I want that, bitch. That's what the fuck you did. You didn't give a fuck about his burdens, you didn't give a fuck about his feelings, you complained, you whined, and you drove the man up a tree to the point where he had no way out. Women will divorce you for next to nothing. When a man puts a ring on your finger, he loves you more than anything in the world. It is unconditional. For a man to ask for a divorce, you had to have put that man through some.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Just maybe. But I firmly believe someone that doesn't respect your time doesn't respect you. Now the caption is, I made us late and now we're driving in silence, but my hair is cute though. And it seems innocent until it's in reverse. Until she got somewhere where she needs to be, right? And you pull some like that. You show up late or fashionably late and you say some like, hey bro, I'm late, but at least I'm fly. I am sure the conversation is going to be different. Keep in mind, there's no way you want me to believe that she's taking this situation serious because she made a whole TikTok about it. He's driving pissed off next to her and she's making a secret TikTok and posting it for the world to see. And I'm almost 100% sure if he got a TikTok, he gonna see the video. There's no way there's a high level of respect in that relationship. I refuse to believe it. Like I said earlier, maybe it's just a personal thing for me, but that's something I just can't f with. A woman that is late or constantly late, I can't do it. And trust me, I understand things happen. Sometimes you run into a situation and things don't go accordingly and sometimes you're a little bit behind. I fully understand that. And that might be that situation at hand. But for the women that are chronically late, nah, I can't do it. Because not only is it disrespectful to me, it shows your poor time management in the worst way. Which in turn is going to affect our relationship later on down the road if we make it that far. Not giving a f about someone else's time, especially if it's something that you have to go and support him with, shows how much you value him in that relationship. Because I'm sure if it was a girl's trip or if it was an after party for her favorite celebrity, she was not gonna be late, bro. But you know what? That's just me. That's just my personal opinion. And like any other video, I ain't gotta listen to me. I'm just a normal guy. I keep the change.
Disrespecting him and expecting him to give you respect back is just crazy. A man doesn't just become silent and distant overnight. He doesn't just stop communicating overnight. See, you keep talking about how his reactions are over the top, how he shouts at you, or he's toxic, or he's narcissistic, when truthfully he just became distant and started keeping his mouth shut. But you never ask why. You never asked yourself why. You can't go around disrespecting a man in front of his family, his friends, your family, your friends. and then expect him all of a sudden to be absolutely fine with you and communicate and talk to you. Maybe the problem isn't him alone. Maybe it's also you. And maybe the big question to why he's acting the way he is because you had a lack of accountability in anything you did towards him.
The guy that's head over heels for her is not the one that she's going to choose.
Sorry, bro.
So he's there thinking he has a chance, but she's just keeping him there just in case it doesn't work out with the other guy.
Yeah.
So now when he realizes that he was just deciding this whole time, his heart is going to smash it. Bro, we call that one the villain error.
Yeah.
Like,
villain error.
Catch me in the gym.
It's dark.
Like,
gym, 3 a.m.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what he's
going
going
through.
Jill Burden just wrote your wife's divorce playbook. If you don't know who she is, her divorce memoir is the #1 book in America right now. 18 weeks on the bestseller list, and Netflix just bought the rights to it. Gwyneth Paltrow's playing her in the movie. The New Yorker is fighting about whether Burden lied about the money, but it's the wrong fight. The fight that matters is what your wife is taking from this book. Burden looked at the paperwork for the first time in years. Your wife is doing the same thing. Burden didn't warn him she was ready for divorce, and your wife isn't warning you either. Burden walked out the other side intact. Your wife circled that page. She didn't write a memoir, she wrote a syllabus, and your wife is on chapter 3 at this moment.
Whenever I try to explain my lifestyle to my monogamous friends, I love using the chocolate cake analogy. If I have a slice of chocolate cake and it's absolutely out of this world, I'm gonna want to share it with my friends. And selfishly, I get more pleasure from sharing, because sharing is caring, than if I were to hoard it. So the next time you say, I'm way too jealous, I can never share my partner, I want you to think of this chocolate cake analogy. Because hoarding is boring and love is not possession.
And there was a woman talking about, I think, a life coach, Sean, talking about, I'm okay if, you're in a relationship with a man and y'all are on the same playing field. Like if you're in college, basically, and you guys are building together, then yeah. Or if you're a little bit further along in life, y'all are pretty much on the same playing field. I'm okay with that. But if he's putting his stuff in a trash bag and moving in with you, then absolutely not. We're not gonna be doing that. And modern women, and I get where you're coming from, but modern women sit there and talk down on men that, maybe it's not in a trash bag, but maybe it's okay. I'm going to be moving my stuff into her house. But if a man, because, you can't help a man build, right? But if it were the other way around, then everybody would be okay with it. And actually, they would be sharing the story as from rags to riches. And that's what a lot of these modern women are. That's what they would be, rags to riches. They're servers. They work at McDonald's. They might be a secretary. And a man might come through and say, oh, I see some potential in you. Yeah, but I'm only a server. Yeah, but you look like, first of all, probably going to be pretty. Second of all, the more I get to know you, the more I'm comfortable being around you. I'm comfortable with you being the mother of my kids. Maybe you deserve a shot. Can I take you out to dinner? This place, yada, yada, yada. And then she just, I hate to say rises up through the ranks, because it makes it seem like she's not really doing anything, but she joins him on the journey of life, right? So when men do it, then they're bums. But if women do it, right, if they're in that position to where they're kind of working a quote unquote low wage job or lowly job, then, and a man takes her out or, brings her up to his level, then it's okay.
He did love you. He would kiss the ground that you walked on. He had plans, he had goals, he had a dream with you. And all you did was break him. All you did was make him feel like a worthless piece of shit. And all you did all the way through was absolutely manipulate the living out of him and take all he's worth. And now you're gonna sit there and play the victim. Now you're gonna start the crocodile tears and you're gonna make everyone believe he's the bad one. Your narcissistic tendencies, you think they are so high, but now he knows everything that you did. So now when you come running back, he's gonna say, go yourself, now it's my turn. Because you don't get to do it to him anymore. But you knew what you did, and you've been doing it for years, and you're gonna do it again, and there's gonna be more men being ruined by you because you...
I said, ideally, the most convenient way to secure a provider man is to get him while he's still in the making. I know all the dating coaches, femininity coaches are telling all the young ladies, I'm speaking to the ladies about age 19 to like 24. They're telling all the young ladies that they should go for a man 15, 20, 25 years older than them, a man that's already established. I think it's more convenient for the younger ladies to find someone around their age that are going somewhere, build with them. That's my opinion. Now, the caveat is, here's the caveat, very important. You need to be able to discern, young lady, 19 to 23, 24. You need to be able to discern the traits that inevitably will probably be wealthy in their life. For example, delayed gratification. Is he disciplined? Is he diligent? Is he intelligent? Does he have a good head on his shoulders? Is he accountable? Is he responsible? Those traits inevitably, I feel, will probably make a lot of money in the future, and he'll be able to provide a nice life for you. Now, please don't come in my comments saying, oh, well, you could build with him, catch him while he's young, and he could still cheat, mess around, whatever. That's fine. That's a different video for a different day. We must stay focused. That's not what we're talking about right now. Those traits you need to look for. I believe on top of those traits I mentioned, he should be God-fearing. I know some people, I have all kinds of people following me. I know some of y'all don't care about that. Some of the ladies, you don't care if he's God-fearing or not. It's my humble opinion that I think you should care, but if you don't care, whatever. Get it how you live. At least have those traits that I mentioned. Delayed gratification, disciplined, diligent, intelligent, good head on your shoulders, responsible, accountable. That kind of man is likely to be wealthy in the future, okay? So do that.
Late night thoughts with Lori. This is becoming a thing, and this is when my brain, I just have the most random thoughts at night. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I've had the worst insomnia lately. I just can't sleep. I don't know what's going on in the universe, but like this whole entire week has been just not normal feeling. Does anyone else feel this? Anyways, that's not why I hopped on here. I hopped on here because my question was, where are all the good men at? So some of the posts that I've done have had a lot of men saying, well, there's still good men out there, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you men that think that you're in the top 5% or whatever, if you think you're a good catch, okay, where do you go and what do you do? Where can we find you guys? Because I know for the most part it's not at the bars, and I've heard some different things. So us ladies want to know, where are you and what are you doing?
My man just don't be listening to me when I speak. Have you ever thought that maybe the way you approach a conversation and or your tone is just not appropriate? Let me tell you something that took me a while to learn. Submission is power. We as women are very emotional creatures, and not that there's necessarily anything wrong with it, but you have to make sure you're not operating from an emotional place. The moment that you put your significant other on the defense is the moment that he cannot be receptive. You can't be defensive and receptive. The conversation is already lost. Maybe give him his flowers and then offer a critique instead of hitting him with the, we gotta talk, or what the is this? Just because you're emotional doesn't mean that you could be disrespectful, because that's what that is. Maybe hit him with the, baby, I appreciate you and I don't ever want you to feel like I don't see you, but I would like you to do a little bit more of this. You see how I went from hood rat to wife? Baby, I really appreciate you and I like what you did the other day, but I did ask if you could do this and it didn't get done. That allows him a space to be more receptive and not feel like, damn, this is about to be another nitpicking ass conversation again. Let me sit down. You don't want to introduce the conversation and already be some type of irritation. Set the tone and keep it respectful. Submission is power.
Passport bro haters, their logic is you're not going to be able to find a woman to go 50-50 with you in these countries. Like, you think someone in, Philippines or Asia is going to want to go 50-50? And that's not the point. My rent here is she can, but she doesn't have to. because my rent here is $300 a month. She can literally pursue whatever her passion is and see if that makes money, and there's no pressure on her. Where in America, there's just pressure on both people in the relationship because it's an economics thing. I think a lot of American relationships would get a lot better if every guy made $300,000 a year. And that's kind of like what it is to leave the country. When you leave the country with a US salary, I have a remote US job, it feels like you're making $300K and you carry yourself differently. I think I'm able to have more free time to date. I'm able to provide more for my partner. I'm able to set up a life structure that's really beneficial for both of us. And the problem is American women don't have that option. There's not a currency somewhere else where a guy can come to America and instantaneously, 4x his buying power. And I think that's just one of the gripes, and it's just the way it is.
No, I love the entire concept of chivalry. It's a beautiful display of your appreciation for the person that you are outside with. If you don't think they're worth opening the door for or pulling out the chair, why are you even outside with them? And even on a more personal level, it's just a display of your own manners and customs that you have. It's a polite, thoughtful, accommodating gesture that I'm sure it feels great to receive. But you as the person performing the chivalrous activity, you just elevated yourself, separated yourself as a king among street rats. I was just at the post office yesterday. Some lady walks out with a big box. I got 3 people in line behind me. I know it's a double door. I ran out, opened the doors for her, let her buy, came back in, got back in line. Dude was like, oh, I didn't know if you was with her, but like, you can get back in line. Like, no, I'm not with her. That's just how I roll. But why ain't nobody else help her? And as a couple interacting that way just like demonstrates elegance. And I'm not royalty or anything. I eat my rotisserie chicken barehanded in the car parking lot at Costco's just like everybody else. But when me and my lady step out of Costco's with 2 rotisserie chickens and I stop and open the car door for her, get down here, her rotisserie chicken, I eat mine, and we both go in at it, now that's relationship goals. And we feast like kings and queens. Caveman, cavewoman, royalty type. That's bad. You got a little something right here.
Disrespecting him and expecting him to give you respect back is just crazy. A man doesn't just become silent and distant overnight. He doesn't just stop communicating overnight. See, you keep talking about how his reactions are over the top, how he shouts at you, or he's toxic, or he's narcissistic, when truthfully he just became distant and started keeping his mouth shut. But you never ask why. You never asked yourself why. You can't go around disrespecting a man in front of his family, his friends, your family, your friends, and then expect him all of a sudden to be absolutely fine with you and communicate and talk to you. Maybe the problem isn't him alone. Maybe it's also you. And maybe the big question to why he's acting the way he is because you had a lack of accountability in anything you did towards him.
Because if you're making more money than she is, don't put it past her that she's not going to steal it from you. Remember, it's a money-hungry game. You can never get comfortable. Because I just seen another 304 get on here talking about she was trapping with another 304 and the 304 stole her money. And that's not the first time I heard that. And it's like, I don't know why y'all keep thinking that you're gonna meet a real friend in the game. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but if it does, it's rare. Understand it's a competitive, evil game, period. And then on top of that, some of them will watch your life and see how your folks is treating you and think that if they come to the stable, your folks will treat them the same way. And when he don't, now they're looking at you, wondering what it is about you that they don't have. And then that's where the competing and comparing comes into. And that's why I don't believe in having HPs or wifeys, because yeah, we could be cordial, but friends,
Don't touch me. I'm just saying, walk. Chill. No. You all said, why do you talk to you, though? I'm just saying, y'all said, just walk. Then walk. Oh, what the fuck you talking about? Oh, no, stop. What's wrong with you? Are you fucking crazy? Hey, what's up? Hey, one by one.
I just hate the fact that after a 300-pound slab of muscle just bing slept little buddy, that the females thought like, oh, this is a good time to get in the way and act like I can throw hands. And me personally, the way I was seeing the situation, it looked like they still had an appetite. So I was like, you got any more of them knuckle sandwiches back there, my boy? It looked like the ladies is hungry. Equality. I'm a feminist.
And I really do see what the brother is talking about when he says, he's kind of answering the question, is chivalry dead? The guy in the comments, he's right too. I think his comment, was You have to be the right one. They all don't deserve chivalry. And he's right. And chivalry is going, kind of going above and beyond. I know modern women like to say that's the bare minimum, but a man doesn't really owe you that, right? Just like you don't owe it to a man to come out on the date with him or, be in the vicinity of him. He doesn't owe you that, okay? I know you probably don't want to hear that, but he doesn't have to be chivalrous to you. The man doesn't have to open the door for you. He doesn't have to give up a seat for you. He's doing it because he's being nice. If the man gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning, he's at that bus stop, you still laying in bed at about 8 o'clock, and by the time the bus come around, and he's it really don't even matter. The man gets up at 6. He got to get ready. He might have to travel, get on the bus at whatever time it is. He's already at the bus stop, and he's already on the bus. And then you just decide at the last minute, like you usually do, I want to get on the bus. He don't have to give up his seat, but y'all expect that. You walk into class late, the man then done whatever he needed to do to get to class on time and get a seat, and now you sitting on the floor. That's your own doing. A man doesn't have to cover you, especially if you're not his wife. He doesn't have to do any of that for you. Now, if you want to be chivalrous, I'm not gonna stop you. If you continue to be chivalrous and generous to these women, I'm not gonna be mad at that, because I think, like my brother was saying, man, I do it for me. I do it because that's the way I was raised. Which in the South, there's maybe not so much anymore. That's just the way a lot of men were raised. Well, you can even go outside of the South, everywhere, anywhere, and say, this is the way my parents raised me. This is the way my daddy raised me. The way my mama raised me. So that's just what I do. And even though a lot of these women don't deserve it, I just do it because that's what I learned, and I've been doing it all these years, and I don't think I'll ever stop. Even though I do get upset and kind of ticked off that they're so rude, I keep on doing it. So you can, either way, for me, works either way. I understand it. Me myself, I would probably, whenever I'm walking out the door, I'll hold the door open for somebody. If I see a lady or anybody, a man, it don't matter, I'll hold the door open. And a lot of times, if there's a man coming behind me or something like that, he'll say, hey man, I got it. Appreciate it, bro. Hey, all right, cool. I'll take it easy.
Nobody fights harder for full custody than a woman who wants to maintain control of the children, control of her ex, and control over money she didn't earn. I'm not talking about it from a woman's point of view. I'm talking about custody and child support from a father's point of view and from an unbiased point of view, because I'm not the mom. So when we talk about custody and we talk about child support, I'm talking about it from the father's point of view. And yes, not everybody has been through the same things, but when I discuss fathers' rights, it is because fathers have gone through the things that I've spoken about. Fathers go through getting over in court by baby mamas. Fathers get over in court through child support. Fathers get parental alienation thrown at them by disgusting, hypocritical, nasty moms. So yes, I have no idea what everybody's been through, but if you're coming to my page and talk it is only because you are claiming to be a victim, and I don't allow that on my page. You want to be a victim on your own, not on mine. Don't come on my page and go, you are so rude. You have no idea what people have been through. I do know what people have been through, and that's why I speak on it. I know what men go through daily, dealing with women like you. Yes, I do know what some people go through, so that's what I speak on. If you don't like it, take your fat somewhere else. I don't give a
Monkey branching. What is monkey branching? If you're dating a woman or if you're even married to a woman, she won't let go of you until she's secured it with the new guy. Just like a monkey, when it's holding onto one branch, it won't let go of this branch until this hand is firmly secured on the new branch. That's what's going on in this dynamic. She's holding onto your hand while she's reaching out to the new guy's hand. What's the solution to this? First off, you need to realize men and women cannot be friends. If she says it's just platonic, he's just a guy friend, y'all, it's a red flag. If he's a straight heterosexual male, him and your girl cannot be friends. Why is she doing this? Well, she's trying to satisfy hypergamy. What is hypergamy? It's this idea that women are always looking to upgrade. If they can find a better looking man that has more money, stronger, funnier, better protector, this type of woman's always on the lookout to see if she can upgrade, or leapfrog, or monkey branch. You need to tell your woman that this behavior is disrespectful. She needs to cut communication off with all these other guys and express that you require loyalty. Unfortunately, she's probably going to gaslight you and say you're being controlling, insecure, and jealous. If she's unwilling to change her behavior, that's clearly disrespectful to you. You need to let her go, and it will turn this frowny face into a smiley face because you just dodged a bullet. You don't want to be with a woman that's talking to other men, that's entertaining other men. Don't let her fool you, y'all. Let her go, let her be with those other men. Let her find out if the grass is greener. You deserve way better. Stop investing your time, your energy, and your money into her immediately. Y'all, we need to have the courage to call out these red flags. And if our girl's unwilling to change her behavior and see that it's toxic, it's time to walk away. If y'all are interested on one-on-one dating advice, type the word coach in the comment section and I'll personally reach out to you. May God Goddess bless all of y'all. Namaste.
Ladies, you can be consistent too. I posted a video the other day trying to speak for y'all, trying to articulate some of the needs that y'all have in regards to consistency and y'all not necessarily wanting a man to do the same thing over and over again more than you want him to be consistent with intentionality. And some of y'all use my video to weaponize against men. But what about you, sis? Can you be consistent? Can you be consistent with supporting that man? Can you be consistent with regulating your emotions in a healthy way instead of always projecting these unhealthy, unhealed, traumatic emotions onto that man? Can you be consistent with not always telling that man how you feel and sometimes coming to him with a logical standpoint? Can you be consistent? What about you, sis? What about you? Y'all say if he wanted to, he would, and you right. But guess what? If she wanted to, she would. So stop acting like relationships are one-sided. Stop acting like that man don't have needs too, that he don't have feelings too. Stop acting like that man don't need consistency with intentionality too. Can you be consistent? Can you be consistent with not making everything in the relationship about you? Can you be consistent when he gives his feelings or he gives his issue and not making it about how he said it or what he said to you? Can you be consistent with accountability? Can you, can you be consistent with having peace within yourself so you don't have to be that man's peace because you are a peaceful person? Can you be consistent? Now let me see you weaponize this.
And the truth of this life is 2 weeks after you've been seeing a man, he will do something to test you to see what he can get away with. He'll call you like a name, like jokingly. He'll be like slow on planning a date when he was like really on top of it before. It is a test to see if he can offer you a lower standard of behavior and if you'll still put up with it. Let me give you an example, because most of the time I don't think men do this consciously, but sometimes they do it consciously. I was dating this guy and then we were like briefly like friends afterwards. And when we stopped dating, I stopped seeing him because he was really on top of planning dates, and then out of nowhere he just was like really dragging his feet about it. Like he was like, I want to see you Sunday. Then on Saturday night he still hadn't told me what we were doing Sunday. So Sunday morning I texted him like, yo, I don't see this going anywhere. No, thank you. And then like in our friendship era, he was like, no, like I understood why you texted me that, like I wasn't planning the date. Like makes sense to me. If you don't dip, if you don't do something, if you don't cut it off as soon as it's happened, then that boy, he has a new standard of how he's going to be treating you. Even if he was treating you well, he's never going to go back to that. After the test, if you let it slide, that is just the new standard of behavior for how he's going to treat you forever. Can never go back. And sometimes this test will come later. Sometimes it'll come like 3 months in and then you really feel swindled. Person you had the first 3 months before the test, that's never coming back either.
I just saw this girl on TikTok say that being single in your 30s is like going to a restaurant with a group of friends and everybody gets their order but yours doesn't come. And then like, while, you know, then you're wondering like, why isn't my order here? I just ordered a salad. And at some point, maybe like, you know, you've ordered salad before, but the chicken was undercooked. And so it was like, you know, right salad, wrong time, and just all of that. I would like to add to that narrative. And it is that dating in your late 30s is like, I've ordered from the same restaurant and my order just hasn't come in, or just the order was never right. Now that I make a little bit more money, I'm going to go to a different restaurant, a more upscale restaurant, and I'm going to order exactly what I want, but then you're telling me that it doesn't exist.
And by no means am I a relationship expert, but never in my life have I ever had an issue with a woman, quote unquote, submitting to me. And I just think if you have any issues with a woman submitting to you, it's just because you need to become a better leader. That's all it is, point blank, period. And if you think you're a great leader, but your woman's not submitting to you, then you're not leading the correct way. But you could be leading into destruction and just mess, and anybody with a reasonable brain, they're not going to follow into that. Or you could be like, oh, well, she just has a dominant personality. She doesn't want to be led. Bro, every woman is just naturally instinct. They do want to be led, no matter how dominant, no matter how independent, whatever it is. They actually do want to be led. It's just you have to lead them in the right direction. That means don't be scared to speak up. Don't be scared to speak your opinion, but also have the knowledge on what is the proper direction. And don't be afraid to take that step back and know that you may not be equipped to lead a relationship right now. And that is 100% okay. There are different stages, there's different seasons in life, but it just may not be your season yet. And this is why I recommend people wait, take a chill pill on dating before they figure things out for themselves.
If you don't protect her, you don't deserve her. And this isn't just some opinion, this is aligned throughout the entire Vedic philosophy. See, a man's role according to the Vedas was never just to provide, it was protection. Not just physical, but emotional, psychological, spiritual. Because the feminine doesn't expand in chaos, it expands in safety. Her softness, her devotion, her love, all of it is a response to the environment that she feels. If she doesn't feel safe, she's not going to give you her fullness. She's going to withdraw and even go as far as destroying to protect herself. The Vedas are clear on this. Where women are not honored and are not protected, nothing good stays. Entire communities were destroyed if a woman wasn't protected. This isn't about control, it's about responsibility. If you want her at her best, you don't demand it. You create the conditions for it. And if you can't do that, you don't deserve access to that side of her.
Just because you are paying child support don't mean you are supporting your child. Matter of fact, child support should be called, I'm gonna just give my baby mama a few couple dollars that the court made me do. But that don't mean that you are supporting that child mentally, emotionally. Are you there for your children on a daily basis? That is support. Child support is taking that child to the first day of school. Child support is PTA meetings. Child support is being there to cheer from the stands. Child support is being there to help that kid learn how to read. Child support is going to the school when he gets his first bully. Child support is taking him to get his first haircut. That's child support. Paying money ain't supporting the child. Now you pay that money, but you gotta do other things if you wanna say I'm supporting my child.
Don't switch up now, nigga. Just cause I said I wouldn't let you crack don't mean that we still can't cuddle. We still can't, hold hands. We still can't do the lovey-dovey that you insisted that we do. Yeah, don't switch up now, cause I hate when y'all do that. Like, y'all don't get y'all way, now all of a sudden it's a whole adult temper tantrum, and it's like, what the is a turnoff? You ugly as doing that. Like, we grown and all that shit. I will slap you into the new universe. I will slap you into the next gen. Hopefully by then Trump will be out of date.
And I think, once again, I do understand what the brother is saying. I think his name is Chris. He's saying basically you got to know how to lead. A lot of times the problem is not the woman, it's the man that doesn't know how to lead. At some point in time, we got to at least start doing 50-50, at least. Because we keep on putting the 99-1 on the man. Oh, you ain't doing this right, you ain't doing that right. And then the man has to rack his brain for years trying to figure out what he did wrong. All the while, he actually didn't do anything wrong. Okay? He started out trying to do something, and there's just differences. Okay, so if a woman wants something, like, he might come up and say, hey, you want an ice cream cone? I don't really like it. Get away from me. Why would you even offer me an ice cream cone? When really the issue is, I don't like vanilla ice cream. Well, you like ice cream though, right? Well, yeah. Well, what flavor do you like? Well, I like chocolate. Okay. Why didn't you just say, I don't prefer a chocolate, or I don't prefer vanilla. I like chocolate. A lot of times a man would beat and ask the woman, what ice cream cone do you want? You like ice cream? Yeah. And then a man say, okay, well, everybody likes vanilla. Let's, most people like vanilla. Let's get vanilla. And she won't tell him until after he buys the ice cream cone. I don't like vanilla. I actually like chocolate. That's when a man is sending you the restaurant. Well, where do you want to go? I don't like a man that said, where you want? Be confident. I was confident. But if I'm confident, I go out there, then you tell me, oh, I don't really like that. Why didn't you tell me before we did it? So I can know what you wanted. You know what I mean? I suggested ice cream. You said, okay, let's go. That's leadership. I'm leading. And then I go there. I don't know what your likes are. Well, if you would talk to me, then you would long enough, then you would know what I like. Or, I mean, you could just tell me, because we don't really know each other like that. You can just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you like. And that'll be the end of that conversation. Modern women don't do that. They make you guess the whole entire time. Do you want a waffle cone? Do you want a regular cone? What do you want? And then the whole order be screwed up. Instead of just telling that man, I want a waffle cone, chocolate ice cream, 2 scoops. I want a little bit of brownie pieces in there. I want some gummy worm or whatever you want. M&Ms, I want that in there. And he can give you exactly what you want. God, dog, man.